Hello everyone, welcome to Studious Aura. In today's video, we will discuss about nursing care plan on hyperthermia. So, I think you must have heard about the term hyperthermia. So, for what we will use this term hyperthermia? So, basically it is an elevated body temperature which is equal to or greater than 102 degree Fahrenheit. So, why the temperature elevate in our body? It is due to the break in the thermoregulation that arise when a body produce or absorb more heat than it dissipate. So, the sustained core temperature beyond the normal variance, usually which is greater than the 39 degree centigrade, or we can call it 102.2 degree Fahrenheit, it is called hyperthermia. In general terms, we call it fever. Okay, which is the elevated body temperature beyond the normal range. This is called hyperthermia. Okay, so let's talk about the nursing care plan for hyperthermia. So here we have mainly the 6 component of the nursing care plan, which is the nursing assessment, nursing diagnosis, goals or the outcomes, or the nursing interventions, then rationale, which is scientific rationale behind the nursing interventions, and the last is evaluation. So evaluation we will discuss at the end of the video, because we don't have the real case scenario here. So I have included only the common interventions for the hyperthermia. Otherwise you can add up more interventions according to the nursing diagnosis or according to the clinical diagnosis of the patient, like the hyperthermia is related to what. So you can add the nursing interventions for that thing also. Okay, so in the nursing assessment part, we have two types of assessment. First is the subjective data and second is the objective data, objective assessment. So in the subjective assessment, you know that the patient will tell you about their experience, what the patient is experiencing at that time. That is the subjective data. For example, here we can look at the screen that patient is saying, I am not feeling well right now, my head is aching and burning. So whatever the patient is saying, whatever the patient is experiencing about their health condition, we can write it here in the subjective data. Okay, so let's look for the objective data. So in the objective data, we can observe the patient objectively. We can observe the sign and symptoms of the patient. For example, the flushed skin with a body temperature of more than 102 degree Fahrenheit. So if the patient is having the elevated body temperature, we can say we can conclude that it can be hyperthermia or it is hyperthermia, because by the definition we know that the body temperature is equals to or greater than the 102 degree Fahrenheit is termed as hyperthermia. And more of we can look at the symptoms like increased respiratory rate, pulse rate, unstable blood pressure, or the chills. Okay, so we can consider these signs and symptoms for the objective assessment. Okay, so next part is formulating the nursing diagnosis. So for the nursing diagnosis, we have the 3 components of the nursing diagnosis. I have told you earlier in my video in which I have discussed about the component of the nursing diagnosis and how to formulate the effective nursing diagnosis for a patient. So here we can see that there is a nursing diagnosis hyperthermia, which is related to the exposure, which may be related to, because we don't have a real case scenario here. So it can be or may be related to the exposure to an environment with increased temperature or the inappropriate clothing, or we can say that there can be a increased metabolic rate due to any disease condition like the respiratory disease condition or any other thing, or the dehydration or extreme activity, which may be evidenced by some sort of sign and symptoms or the patient's verbalization. Okay, so I have not included there the evidence is the sign and symptoms, because we don't have the real case scenario, but you can include the sign and symptoms or the objective assessment signs here. Okay, so we have some goals or the outcomes, because if we are doing or planning for an intervention to the patient, so in our mind we have some goals or the possible outcomes. Okay, so we can write it here. as short-term goals and the long-term goals. So the short-term goals for the patient with hyperthermia I have written here are: the patient maintains body temperature below 102.2 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so this can be the short term goal, and the patient maintains the BP and the heart rate within the normal limits if he or she having the regular BP or heart rate. Okay. And the long-term goals here can be: the client will be free from the complications such as irreversible brain or the neurologic damage related to the hyperthermia or the elevated body temperature. Okay, so this can be the long-term goal because we cannot manage it in the short period of time, in the short period of duration. So this can be the long-term goals. Okay, so now let's see about the interventions. Okay, so in the interventions part, firstly we should reassess the patient. We should assess some things like monitor the patient's temperature. Okay, so because it provides the baseline data to intervene. Okay, so you have to monitor and report it here on the intervention part only. Okay, then monitor the patient's heart rate and BP. So heart rate and BP increase as hyperthermia progresses, because in case of the hyperthermia, if the temperature will increase and increase, it progress, so the heart rate and BP can also be increased. Okay, so then identify the triggering factor. What all are the factors which are triggering the which are elevating the body temperature? Okay, because the determination and the management of the underlying causes are necessary to recovery. Because if we identify the underlying causes, then we can treat the underlying cause first to for the better recovery of the patient. Okay, so I hope you got it till now. Okay, so in the further parts, we can monitor the fluid intake and the urine output of the patient, because the fluid resuscitation may be required to correct the dehydration. Because in case of hyperthermia, if the patient's body temperature is elevated, so patient can sweat rigorously, and there can be chances of the dehydration. So first of all, we have to identify that is there any sort of dehydration in the patient or not. So for that, we have to monitor the fluid intake and the urine output, and if there is a if there is a dehydration, so we should correct that with the fluid resuscitation. Then the next is to adjust and monitor the environmental factors like room temperature and the bed linens as indicated, because the body temperature of the patient can be elevated by the room temperature. Like if there is really increased room temperature and the patient is covered with a lot of linens, so the body temperature can be increased further. So the blanket and the linens may be adjusted as indicated to regulate the temperature of the patient. Then eliminate the excess clothing and the covers. If the patient is covered with the excessive linens or is wearing the excessive clothing, so we can eliminate that, because the exposing the skin to the room air decrease the warmth and increase the evaporation and cooling. If the evaporation increase, so by the evaporation the patient can disseminate more of the heat from the body, so that the temperature will be lower down. Okay. Then provide the antipyretic agents, antipyretic medications as prescribed. Like about the antipyretics. These medications lower the body temperature by blocking the synthesis of prostaglandin, because that the prostaglandin is responsible for hyperthermia. So what the antipyretic medication will do, they will block the synthesis of the prostaglandin and thus reduce the body temperature. Okay. Then evaporating cooling करनी है हमें. So cool with a tepid bath. Do not use alcohol. So we can cool the patient with a tepid sponge bath. We should not use the alcohol, because alcohol cools the skin too rapidly and it can cause shivering and the patient can go into the hypothermia. So we can recover the patient from the hyperthermia, but patient can go into the hypothermia, which is more severe form. Okay, so start the IV intravenous normal saline solutions. So start the patient on the IV fluid. So IV normal saline solution replace the fluid loss during the shivering and chills. Okay, so it will also prevent the chances of dehydration in the patient. Then educate the patient and the family members about the signs and symptoms of the hyperthermia. Like providing the health teaching to the patient and the family aids in coping with the disease condition. If the patient and family will know about the disease condition, will know about the signs and symptoms of the hyperthermia and what are the causes of these, what are the underlying cause which can be there, and if the patient and the patient's family know about the interventions, which are the common interventions they can do at home or in the hospital settings, so it will be easy to cope with that disease condition, cope with the hyperthermia. Okay, so that it will not progress. So I think you have understood this all things. Now the last part is to evaluate your interventions. We have to evaluate the patient for the effectiveness of the interventions, and if there is some problem, so we can change the interventions accordingly. Okay, so I hope you all have understood these all things. If you are having any doubts, any questions, you can comment in the comment box. I will surely answer your questions. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe my channel.